I'm Marilee Caruso. It's Wednesday, December 10th. Today, transit troubles.
Worse. So much worse. The connections don't make sense.
The transit overhaul fails another test. Why users say winter weather has exposed a new flaw in the system. Also today.
Oh, it's there. Oh, yay.
American booze back on the shelf. How Winnipeggers feel about U.S. spirits being sold once again. Plus, an order for holiday cheer. How the Royal Canadian Air Force Band is helping to raise money for the United Way. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. As colder temperatures set in and more snow piles up on the ground, frustration is growing among Winnipeg transit users. Tonight, many are complaining they're waiting longer at stops without transit shelters since transit underwent its largest overhaul in history back in June. Joining me now live to explain is CTV's John Hendrick. So, John, what are transit users saying about the new system now that winter is here?
Marilee, the sentiment among riders is similar to some of the concerns we heard in the summer. Multiple riders that we spoke with today say they need to take an extra 1 or 2 buses on their daily commute as compared to the old system. However, we're also hearing frustration on the reduction of late night service in some areas with very short times to catch connecting buses. However, one of the largest concerns now is the lack of transit shelters to stay warm.
Worse. So much worse. The connections don't make sense. Bus routes change at certain times. They end now before 10 o'clock.
That's how Nicholas Tugwell, a daily transit rider, described the new system outside of a stop on Corridon Avenue. He's among those calling for more bus shelters, saying that could help in part to ease rider frustration. Now, according to a city spokesperson, just over 200 bus shelters were relocated from canceled stops to different locations as part of the transit changes. However, the city says another 150 shelters were removed completely, and it's in the process of assessing the condition of those shelters. It hopes to add those 150 shelters to in-service bus stops as soon as possible, but didn't provide a concrete timeline. Now, a city spokesperson says Winnipeg Transit currently has 705 shelters across the city.
John, does the city still plan to address other concerns riders have with the new system?
Marilee, the city says it's still in the process of collecting rider feedback, which will be reviewed. And just yesterday, Mayor Scott Gillingham announced on social media that new changes will be coming to several route schedules. CTV's Daniel Homerson is working on this story for 6, and he will have much more on what the city's Public Works chair has to say. All
right, looking forward to that. Thanks, John. Manitobans were eager to get their hands on American booze today.
Oh, it's there. Oh, yay. So I'll get my 2 bottles or 3 bottles and then I'll be done.
This was the lineup outside the Crestview Liquor Mart this morning. And inside, staff were busy restocking a limited supply of U.S. alcohol products. Today was the first day Manitobans were able to buy American booze from Liquor Mart since they were pulled from shelves in February. Whether for a Christmas gift or a Christmas party, these Winnipeggers were quick to stock up.
I'm first in line. I came for the Kraken whiskey. My son likes it, and I thought I'd get it for Christmas.
Definitely here for the bourbon. Obviously only made in the U.S., so that's why I'm here for specialty cocktails over Christmas.
Monday, the province's backstock of American alcohol went up for sale to private vendors, restaurants and wine stores. And in just a few hours, $1.9 million worth of that U.S. booze was sold, nearly double what the province was expecting. Manitoba Liquor and Lottery says up to $500,000 from the sale will go to cheerboards in Winnipeg, Brandon and Thompson. The University of Winnipeg has announced its new interim president and vice chancellor. Gino DeStasio, an urban geography professor, will fill the dual role starting Friday. DeStasio has taught at the university for 25 years and served as its vice president and research in innovation for more than a decade. Soon, the university will start its search for a permanent president, saying more information will be shared in the new year. The change-up comes after former president Todd Mondor was removed from the position last month. Longtime MLA and former Manitoba Premier Kelvin Goertzen is not running in the next election. Goertzen made the announcement on social media yesterday, thanking the voters who've supported him over the years since 2003. The veteran politician says he's making the announcement now to give people time to consider seeking the nomination and the party time to plan. During his time in government, Goertzen held a number of cabinet positions, including health, education, and justice minister. He also briefly served as premier following Brian Pallister's resignation in 2021. Plans for the future of the Port of Churchill are starting to take shape. The Arctic Gateway Group, which owns the port, has signed a memorandum of understanding with Inuit-owned Nunavut Sea Link and Supply, a northern cargo shipping company. This MOU aims to restore the deep water connection, which allowed essential supplies to be shipped between Churchill and Nunavut. Under this agreement, the two groups will look to strengthen supply chains by rail, port, and sea lift, which is a term for a cargo ship carrying vital supplies. The goal is to launch a Churchill Origin sea lift as early as 2026. The Royal Canadian Air Force Band is getting ready to spread some holiday cheer. The band was kept busy today practicing for its Friday Christmas concert at the U of M's Desautel Concert Hall. The annual concert aims to raise money for the United Way Winnipeg and will feature special guests alongside RCAF performers.
We're excited to feature our guest harpist on Tchaikovsky's Waltz of the Flowers and our brand new vocalist, Corporal Mallory Prescott, singing throughout the evening.
The concert is sold out, but you can catch a live stream of the performance on the RCAF's Facebook page. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. What are you tracking for us tonight, Colleen?
No snow tonight across southern Manitoba. Boy, oh boy, some of it fell over the last 24 hours or so, especially in the southwest. We'll take a look at that. But there is more snow that is on the way before too long. I'll show you when that arrives and a look at the rest of the week and into the weekend. But let's take a look right now first through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, it is cloudy, minus 15 degrees with the wind chill. It feels like minus 19. Light winds from the north at 6 kilometers an hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is 78%. Out in traffic on this Wednesday afternoon, very busy for the southbound side there of the St. James Bridge, much lighter traffic in the opposite direction. One traffic note to let you know about, southbound Kenaston just past Taylor, there has been a collision in the southbound curb lane. That's likely to explain why it's so busy right now on the bridge.
It feels like my heart's having a dance party.
How one 8-year-old was inspired to spread holiday cheer this season and what she's doing to help strangers have a merrier Christmas.
It's time to light things up for the holidays, and we want to see all your hard work. All those nutcrackers, lights, and trees can help you win a $500 gift card from Red River Co-op and have the chance to show off your holiday house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Fill out the form and submit your photos. Good luck.
Get Winnipeg's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
The governor for the Bank of Canada says the rate is where it needs to be to keep inflation in check. Tiff Macklem had hinted the rate would stay the same in October. And with growth in the economy and positive employment data, the bank decided not to move. But the governor did point to Canada working through a structural adjustment, which he is keeping a close eye on. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.49. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 58.79. Western Canadian Select is down to 44.53. And the TSX gained 246 points today for another record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross. Group health plans for any size business.
This next story is from Saanich, British Columbia on Vancouver Island. A young girl there is taking the money she makes from doing chores and giving it to other kids in need. CTV's Adam Sawatsky shares her story.
It's over 2 feet tall. Yeah.
From the moment Prairie Rose Steinman first saw that dollhouse from her favorite TV show,
I want that really badly.
she'd been asking her mom, Kirsten, to buy it for her.
Every birthday and every Christmas, it landed on the list. It was right up there at the top.
But every year, it was just a bit too much for their budget.
You didn't get it?
No.
How does that feel?
She felt sad.
So Prairie tried to be really grateful for what she did have instead.
We know we want something, but we have to focus on the stuff that we already have and need.
But then, that day she and Kirsten were focused on shopping for their other family members, Prairie spotted a Christmas hamper filled with donated toys.
I was like, oh, well, I want to do something like that too.
So Prairie asked her mom if she could spend the money she'd saved from doing her chores to buy not just something special for someone else, but the dollhouse she'd always wanted.
If I gave something that I really wanted, someone would just feel loved. Just like giving a very warm hug to them.
That was super emotional for me. I was just really humbled, actually.
She was so inspired by her daughter's generosity that Kirsten returned a coat she'd bought for herself so she could buy 4 more dollhouses to donate to kids in need.
That's what Christmas is actually about anyway. So yeah, let's go and do it.
So they did. And although that meant Prairie wouldn't get a dollhouse of her own on Christmas, she did finally get one for her birthday.
That was very exciting, yeah.
But it can't compare to preparing to donate another gift this year.
And just sharing the hope and the peace that Christmas is really about.
Because the feeling Prairie says she remembers most in her heart was not the getting, but the giving.
Feels like my heart's having a dance party.
A dance party?
Yeah. And like
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
A newly discovered extinct species at the Manitoba Museum and what our province looked like during the Ice Age. Spotlight is next.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
When you give a child a winter coat, you're giving a child the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside. When you give a child a winter coat, you're giving them the freedom to create warm winter memories. Because no child should be freezing cold. Kids should be able to go outside and have fun. Donate to Coats for Kids. Drop off new or gently used winter wear at these participating businesses. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV. Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting the Crash Test Dummies Jingle All the Way Holiday Tour.
Colleen Brady is back now for Spotlight, and a new exhibit at the Manitoba Museum is bringing the past into the present.
That's right, Marilee, and it's called Weird Wonders from the Dawn of Complex Life. The temporary exhibit on now showcases species from the Cambrian period.
These specimens from the Burgess Shale give us a snapshot of what life was like 506 million years ago. They are remarkably well preserved, so some of them actually have preserved remnants of the nervous tissues, their digestive tracts. In some specimens, you can even see the last meals that these organisms ate.
At the center of the exhibit is fossils and representations of Musara fentoni. That's the name of a new predator discovered earlier this year in British Columbia. The species was about the size of your index finger with swimming flaps along its sides. The museum is also welcoming a new mural, bringing back to life Manitoba's prehistoric creatures.
This is representing what life might have looked like a little over 40,000 years ago here in southern Manitoba.
The museum says the mural is largely based on the fossils from around the Grunthal area. This includes evidence of woolly mammoths, giant beavers, and musk oxen. Oh my.
Right. Now to a local illusionist who's been blowing minds for more than a decade.
He sure has, and he's coming to perform in front of the hometown crowd.
What are you doing? What? Yeah, you got shredded newspaper. Big deal.
Darcy Oak, son of legendary sports broadcaster Scott Oak, is set to take the stage at Centennial Concert Hall next fall. Now, as you saw, this isn't his first time wowing crowds here in Winnipeg. He also disappeared in front of thousands of people at the Bombers' home opener 2 years ago. The show is scheduled for October 24th. Tickets go on sale Monday at centennialconcerthall.com.
I think those are going to get scooped up pretty fast.
I think so.
A beloved author best known for the Shopaholic series of novels has died.
Sophie Kinsella passed away today. Her series sold more than 50 million copies globally. Kinsella, whose real name was Madeline Sophie Wickham, was diagnosed with an aggressive form of brain cancer in 2022. Her family released a statement today announcing her death. Sophie Kinsella was 55 years old.
A concert trade publication has released a list of the most popular touring artists of the millennium.
That's right, Marilee. Polestar made the rankings based on ticket sales from 2001 to 2025. And the band topping the list might not be a surprise to some. And as we learned this year, Marilee, you have to behave yourself at a Coldplay concert. It topped Polestar's, that's right, Polestar's ranking with $24.8 million tickets sold. Next up is U2 with 20.2 million tickets sold. I was at a couple of those shows. And Ed Sheeran with 19.6 million. Rounding out the top 5 is Dave Matthews Band with nearly 19.6 million tickets sold. And Taylor Swift.
I was wondering when you were
I know, when I get around to Tay-Tay.
Like, what kind of list is this?
Like, hello.
She's not on it.
I know. She sold about 18.9 million tickets. But keep in mind, here's the caveat on that one.
Okay.
Her debut album was not released until 2006, and numbers of tickets sold is a different metric than money grossed.
Okay.
Don't worry, Taylor.
But there was some funny business there. That
she's on the list. Yeah.
Thanks, Colleen.
You're welcome. Beat the Midweek Blues with some great entertainment starting at 7 with Shifting Gears and Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. The Final Four race to the finish on The Amazing Race at 8:30, and The Floor wipes things up tonight at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
A live look at the very busy Norwood Bridge. Very busy in both directions. Again, that is the Norwood Bridge. We looked at the St. James Bridge earlier. The southbound span very slow because of that collision. Southbound Kenaston just past Taylor.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
You can put down the shovels for a little bit
for now.
Tonight.
Well, depending on where you are, though, of course, if you're in the southwest, you're probably still shoveling out. Here's why. That's where all the snow went, or most of it, with the latest clipper that passed by over the last 24 hours or so. A lot of areas got in that 19, 20 centimeter area within the southwest, including Verdon, Pilot, Mount Cypress River, Brandon. Now, of course, too, we have weather watchers out there like Jim out in Verdon who let me know that he registered 25 centimeters in his yard. So an awful lot of snow out in the southwest. As you saw, we did get some here in the southeast, but not nearly as much. In Winnipeg, anywhere from, say, 3 to 6 centimeters. And of course, Winnipeg is a big geographical area, so that's to be expected that there would be a little bit of a variation like that. But you can see it's cloudy now in the southwest. We're having some clearing right now here in the southeast. Next door in northwestern Ontario, partly cloudy in Kenora. And up in the north, cold right now in Thompson. It's around minus 24 degrees, partly cloudy in that city. Now, there is more snow headed toward northern Manitoba as well in the coming hours. For the next few hours here in the south, we'll see clouds start to encroach here in the southeast. We won't see the temperature drop off all that much further tonight. Then here comes the next round of snow. Look at that, like a wall coming out of Saskatchewan, isn't it? Crossing over the border into western Manitoba overnight tonight. But then you see the track this takes. The snow, for the most part, will fall in the southwest to a certain extent. Not much as you just had, but more so up in the north. And over the next few hours, really throughout the day tomorrow, this next round of snow focuses mainly in the north. north. Maybe some will come through further south. We might get clipped by some flurries here in southern Manitoba. But here comes the next round of that snow, which is going to be a bit more impactful, more of an organized snowfall. Having said that, it'll be intermittent snow that comes through the south, including here in Winnipeg, and it will zip on into northwestern Ontario by Friday morning and continue to push further off to the east. But for tonight for Winnipeg, partly cloudy now. We'll see increasing cloud tonight. We drop down to minus 17 degrees. Light winds out of the south at 10 kilometers an hour, strengthening slightly tomorrow up to 15 kilometers an hour. You saw there in the future cast sort of mid-afternoon, there's that southern tail of that snow that may swoop through the south. It could bring some flurries at most to Winnipeg. An afternoon high temperature of minus 11 degrees. Then into the long range we go. We'll see that snow come through Thursday night, out of the way by Friday, but a cold high of just minus 18 degrees for Friday. The normal high for this time of year for Winnipeg is minus 9. And how's Saturday for you? If you thought Friday was cold, check out Saturday. Sunshine and a high of minus 20 degrees. The temperature moderates on Sunday with some cloud, minus 14, minus 12. And then Tuesday, 1 degree. Hasn't looked so good in a while, has it? Well, although November wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it lately with these colder temperatures. Our first weather photo takes us up to beautiful Cross Lake, Manitoba. That shot was from Garnet. Weather conditions very wintry up there. And this pileated woodpecker out in the snow here in Winnipeg. That photo was taken by Alan. Send us your photos by email to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The CTV Skywatch Pick of the Day is brought to you by the Manitoba Chiropractors Association. We've got your back.
An original Picasso painting worth €1 million is being raffled off for charity.
It reminds me of my grandfather's generosity for his family, for his friends, but also for big causes, and especially during the Civil War in Spain or the Second World War.
Pablo Picasso's grandson is helping with this operation, saying the raffle, as you heard, reminds him of his grandfather's generosity. The portrait of a woman was painted back in 1941 during the Second World War. Up to 120,000 tickets for this piece of artwork will be sold, and a winner will be announced in April. Pretty cool. Hopefully you can afford the insurance for it.
No kidding. That's the other part to that, too. Can you imagine if Pablo Picasso was your grandfather?
No.
Anyway.
No.
That's your thought for the evening.
Kind of cool to have a chance.
It is very interesting.
How much are tickets?
I don't know, but I'm sure pricey just to get in on that draw, sure. But all for a good cause.
All right, that does it for us this hour, but don't go far. We'll be back at 6 with much more local news. Hope to see you then.